Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Light Conversations with Bob. We appreciate you spending some time with us and hope everyone in your family and friends and work spheres are healthy and safe. And I want to preface this conversation saying I know that many people are facing extreme challenges physically and emotionally and economically at this time. And in no way am I trying to compare what a race car driver is going through to those living with deep fear and deep sadness. These conversations are meant as a diversion, as a way to keep you, the fans, connected to the sport and hopefully laugh a little and learn a little. If you missed the interview with William Byron last week, you can find it on our Facebook and YouTube channels. He talked about iRacing, and there is another eNASCAR iRacing Pro Series invitational race set for 1 p.m. Sunday on Fox. Check your local listings to make sure your Fox affiliate is carrying it, but if not, it'll also be on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Now, our conversation with Matt DiBenedetto. This week is Bristol, and it got me thinking that we should have a driver whose arguably career moment came at Bristol. Matt DiBenedetto. Remember that last August when he found out earlier in the week that he didn't have a ride for 2020? He came back and nearly won that race last year at Bristol, leading late in the event until Denny Hamlin passed him. A few weeks later, Matt DiBenedetto was named driver for the Wood Brothers number 21 Ford. This is his best opportunity, and now his first season with his new team has been, suspended, just like all racing activity. Matt, thanks for coming, and thanks for wearing a shirt.
Yeah, anytime, Bob. Just for you, bud.
And I'm assuming you're wearing pants too. For for those who didn't see it, Matt tweeted a photo prior to the iRacing event last week that indicated he was going to race in his underwear. Did you do that?
Well, I was going to, and my wife really appreciated the fact that if I would have at least put on some shorts and maybe partially a shirt. So I ended up racing in a little bit of clothing, not much, but at least it was something.
And I've got to ask because that's like so not the Penske way, right? So did anybody, you do some work with Penske, obviously with the affiliation with the Bro brothers. Did anybody at Penske say anything about it, or were they all good?
No, no, and I think they found humor in it, and no, I didn't really
Okay.
hear anything other than just a lot of funny reactions.
Well, I just hope you didn't create a new version of the Penske games with that, because if we're starting to see Simon and Brad and Joey without their shirts, that's going to be I don't know how that one would go over, but look, I mean,
Yeah, we don't
everybody who
need
knows
that.
Matt, Matt, obviously, as you saw in that photo, or if you've seen on other photos, he works out a lot, and I hear your arm is gonna get a workout as you're gonna have to sign over 1,000 hero cards for people who gave donations to the Wood Brothers so they could buy iPads and tablets for. I think they distributed about over 200 to 12 nursing homes in the area so that patients could video chat with their families because the families can't visit. So I'm curious, have you started signing hero cards yet?
So I finished all of their thank you cards that we did for everybody that donated, and there were 1,000 or just over 1,000 of them, and I did knock them all out in about 3 days. Took me to, to knock them all out. I had a
Wow.
little bit of writer's cramp. It got a little bit monotonous. I apologize to some if my signature started to go a little bit downhill over time because on probably my 400th one or so, it was a little bit hard to be as perfect as normal. But we got them all knocked out, and it was really cool and such a good cause and amazing idea. And something positive to do in a tough time for a lot of people. It was really cool and obviously, very neat that we all, I as well as the Wood brothers and a lot of us signed those cards, personally to all those that helped out.
Yeah. So did you have like a certain song going, or did you have highlights of some race going, or what? Did you have anything in the background, or was it, or do you when you sign these things, is it all quiet and totally focused on it?
Oh no, I had music going in the background. I was playing some classic rock, so at least that's always always good music to listen to, and I love music. I'm a music guy, so that kind of got me through where I was just tuning into my music and signing away, and my wife Taylor was right next to me, you know, helping to keep everything organized. So we had like a little assembly line going and had good music going, so I didn't mind it a bit.
Well, rock on. Now, look, I know, Matt, you've signed a lot of autographs in your life. For those who don't know his story, he's a California kid who didn't belong to a racing family, but he was running well, racing go karts and stuff against Kyle Larson. And then they moved to North Carolina. The whole family uprooted to North Carolina to help him pursue his dream. Matt has raced for a lot of underfunded teams. There were times where he didn't have rides, and he, the story about him betting on himself to go try to get that ride first with Levine Family Racing, and then out of a ride in the middle of last year, at least have a ride thinking for this year, and he lands with the Wood brothers in a few weeks. So I think, Matt, you can give us a lot of perspective on what you're going through now. Like, is this interruption in the season, is that no big deal compared to the nervousness and the ups and downs of your career?
Um, yeah, I've definitely been through quite a bit for sure, but it's made me into the person I am today and made me you know, more appreciative for everything. So as far as this situation, I mean, yeah, I was so excited to just get going, probably more eager than ever because it's the biggest opportunity I've had in my life, and it's taken every one of the opportunities I've had prior to this to get this opportunity. But yeah, so eager, and then for the rug to be kind of swept out from underneath you right away from all of us, you know, and be on hold is tough. It stinks, but you know, I'm a big advocate for only focusing on what you can control. And everybody's in, you know, there are a lot of people in much, much, much tougher situations. So I look at the positives of, you know, how fortunate that my wife Taylor and I are that we, you know, can, um, you know, financially be okay to make it through a tough time like this. And there are people that are, you know, living paycheck to paycheck and going through a lot of those struggles, and also knowing with that we have all intentions to run all the races this year will just be delayed. That's a good positive to focus on, and you know, you just got to kind of focus on the positives and what you can control, and like doing stuff like we getting the tablets and iPads for people in nursing homes up around the Stewart, Virginia area, things like that. Just are good ways to focus all the positive energy on in a tough time and to be thankful for what we have.
And because you haven't been with your team, for all that long, have you been doing anything during the last few weeks to try to kind of keep the continuity with them? I mean, do you do conference calls? Do you Skype with crew chief Greg Irwin? Or are you pretty much kind of not even really communicating at this time?
No, we've been talking a lot, almost daily, all of us. So me and my team, our road crew, are in a group chat, so we'll talk in there, and some stuff's just so basic of, hey, how's everybody hanging in there? And nobody's going crazy yet, right? And yeah, some of our communication back and forth consists of just yesterday or the day before, I texted my spotter, Doug Campbell, and in all capital letters, I said, I'm really bored. And I have texted the same to my crew chief. I was on the phone with Craig Irwin actually this morning for quite a while, talking about okay, what races do we think are upcoming? What do we need to prepare for? Talking about gear ratios for, you know, a track like Sonoma, things like that. So we're you know, we're definitely still finding there's going to be a lot of preparation and things that are going to come into play soon. But we're all keeping in good communication because that's your family, you know.
Wow, crew chief asking you about gear ratios. Something tells me that you might say something different than what maybe he got from maybe Robby Gordon when he was crew chiefing Robby Gordon about gear ratios for Sonoma.
Yeah, I would say a little bit different. That's for sure. He's had a Greg's been around a long time and had a lot of really good drivers, man.
Yeah, Greg, your crew chief, and Robby Gordon, Greg Biffle, has he has he given you any advice that of things that those drivers did that maybe you didn't know that they did that you can implement into kind of your either your daily routine or your racing craft?
Um, I don't know if there's anything in particular, other than the experience that those guys had and just things like that. But no, he's kind of said I'm compared to guys he's worked with, I'd definitely be different. I'm probably on the calmer side. Everybody knows Robby Gordon's definitely a high strung type of guy, and so no, we've worked well together and meshed well together. He's given me good advice, and we've meshed great just because he has a lot of experience. I luckily by this point have a lot of experience at the cup level. Obviously, this is my first opportunity being with such a top tier team like the Wood Brothers and our alliance with Team Penske and having the Ford support and all that. But no, it's been a great fit and super easy for the start of the year and top 10 in points and all. I can't wait to get back going and at it. But no, it's good that we've started off solid and still have things we can build on.
You said top 10 in points. I've talked to you earlier this year about the fact that this is the first year where you could really have a shot to make the playoffs on points. So I'm curious, how different is it to be looking to see where you are in the point standings every week and knowing that, that's pretty darn important of where you're at?
Yeah, it's cool. It's just a different dynamic this year. So it changes kind of your approach to the races, like stage points and all, because we know that we have the speed and the performance to, be racing up there in the top five, top 10, on a weekly basis. So changes how you approach your races as far as stage points and things. And the easiest comparison would be like last year when I was driving for the 95 team, we really didn't hit our stride until the second half of the year. It took a little bit of time for us to kind of build that team up to where we could run up there and top tens and top 15s real consistently every week. And that wasn't until the second half of the season. So when we turned the wick up, it was more our strategy all was just based on go win the race. We're not really worried about stage points. We just want to try and win and lock ourselves in the playoffs. And we very nearly did that. But this year it's more of a chip away at it every single week and get as many points as we can. Run good, run up front, and then hopefully get those wins as well and be contenders all the way to the very end.
Going to Bristol in the iRace this weekend. I know you'd really want to be on the real Bristol track. That's where you shine. Are you going to be able to replicate that at all? Bristol's a tough track for in iRacing, and I know you haven't maybe had the greatest of luck or results so far in that
Skill.
series.
I uh, Everybody that knows me knows I'm a really honest guy, and Bob, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not super confident in my ability on iRacing. I've been pretty humbled here the last couple of weeks, and I think I'm all right. I'm like middle of the road on there, but man, it's different. It takes a lot of practice to be good on iRacing. So a lot of people have been like, "Oh, Bristol this week, coming up." I'm like, "Whoa, guys, this isn't real life." Some of these guys, I feel like people have advantages over me, like William Byron and maybe even guys like Landon Castle now, and some of these that are practicing. I think like 400 hours a week or whatever they're putting into time on these simulators, like I got behind me. So I look to try and be respectable this week. That's my goal. I've been running okay, but I've made some little mistakes. Like I have the speed and then I hit the wall on my own, and I just got to kind of correct some of those little mistakes to try and get better in the virtual world.
This is the way I see Matt DiBenedetto practicing iRacing. I see him with one hand on the wheel and another hand with a barbell, doing lifts or something. Can you combine workout and iRacing practice, or are they two separate things?
Yeah, I feel like when I run the iRacing simulator, it's a workout in itself because I leave like a pile of sweat in my simulator after the race is done because I'm so tense and so on edge during the whole thing, like being right on the ragged edge, trying to hang on to it. And it's just so different because you don't have that feel like you do in real life in the real race car. So I feel like I'm on pins and needles all the time. And that's why last week I hit the wall when I was driving through the field and coming up toward the front and all by myself and wrecked my race. Um, so I think the iRacing is actually a lot of a workout for me just based on the fact that I'm not very comfortable yet.
Well, and what are you able to do your normal workout routine? I mean, obviously everybody sees, you're pretty fit guy, or have you had to adjust? And if you've had to adjust, do you have any recommendations for people who are trying to stay fit in these times?
Yeah, so we have a garage gym set up. I'm lucky enough that I got some equipment from Rogue, and so I have a yoke that can be used as a squat rack. I have uh, me and our two best friends that Taylor and my wife and I train with, Dana and Kelly. We actually combined all our equipment, so we have dumbbells from fives all the way to 90s, and so we've really got all the equipment we need. We got a bench, I mean, you name it. So my training regimen hasn't changed a whole lot, but Taylor is participating more in the a little bit more body weight at home workouts that you can do with minimal to no equipment. So her and our friend Dana are doing that and posting workouts daily for our CrossFit place that where it's like a community, and they're all doing that. So there are great workouts that you can do and still absolutely blast yourself even without weights. As far as they're doing stuff like burpees, and we're doing handstand push-ups yesterday, and running, and 100 air squats, and then a whole laundry list of things, and then buy out with another 100 air squats, and I mean, you name it. And I've
Wow.
been sharing a little bit of our workouts and stuff, but it's pretty cool.
Wow. And finally, Matt, I know we've seen on social sometimes you do like a good prank here or there. Is this giving you any extra time? And have you gotten any good pranks or any good ideas? I don't want you to give us the full idea because then it wouldn't be a prank, but anything we should be looking for or should have seen already?
Oh, I haven't done anything yet in this spare time, surprisingly, to prank my wife Taylor, which she's usually the unlucky recipient of it. But now that you mention it, Bob, you give me a great excuse to do that, and then I can, when I do it, and if she gets mad, I can be like, "Hey, here's Bob Pockrass's phone number. I'll go ahead and text him, an angry message because he suggested it." So thank you, Bob, for giving me a great out.
It wouldn't be the first time that a significant other has texted Bob Pockrass with an issue of something that he's done, but usually it's something that he says or has written. But hey, Matt, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule because as I say you're still working out. You got iRacing training. You can see Matt race Sunday in the eNASCAR iRacing Pro Invitational Series on Fox. Check your local listings, FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Starts at 1 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt, for joining us. You can see Matt race Sunday in the eNASCAR iRacing Pro Invitational Series on Fox. Check your local listings to make sure your Fox affiliate is carrying it. They'll also be simulcast on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. It starts at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. If you missed the Wednesday World of Outlaws iRacing event, that will be replayed at noon Sunday on FS1. And if you want to join me, I'll be doing another pre-race chat at 12:30 p.m. Eastern through the NASCAR on Fox Twitter feed. You can get your daily racing fix Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. with NASCAR Race Hub on FS1. Thanks again to everyone. Be safe, wash your hands, and we'll talk again soon on Light Conversations with Bob.
For more great NASCAR on Fox content, subscribe to our channel. It's somewhere right around here.